Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Personal Trainers Who Care. Today I have Kat Marion. So she was a manager at our Wellington location for quite a bit of time, and she was at Freeform in general for 11 years. So I'm excited to have her on today to pick her brain about her experience in the fitness industry at Freeform specifically, and just sort of find out some wisdom from her, some fitness wisdom. Thank you so much for coming today. It's very exciting to have you.
So exciting. Thank you for having me.
So number one, I want to start off by talking about your retirement and how that's been so far. We were just chatting right before this about how it's already been 4 weeks.
It'll be 4 weeks and tomorrow. 4 weeks tomorrow. Yeah.
So what's up? Like, what are you up to now?
A whole lot of nothing, and I'll blame the Tour de France for that because I've been glued to my TV. I haven't been able to do that, right? For 11 years, sort of watch it, live as it's happening. So, that's the first half of my day. And it's taking me a little while to get out of the I'm on vacation brain, right? Because I should be planning for clients soon. Oh yeah, I don't have to do that anymore, right? I need to buy the things I need to pack for my lunch. Oh no, actually I don't need to do that anymore, right? So there's these little moments where I'm thinking that I need to do the things I've been doing for 11 years. And I think this week's the first week where I kind of realize, okay, I'm not going back. This is good.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I actually only really would see you at events or workshops and stuff like that. So I don't know much about your personal fitness journey and what brought you to Freeform, whether you had worked at other gyms before that.
Oh my gosh, do we have like 5 hours?
Yeah, please. So I want to know, like, when did you start in the fitness industry? When did you first get your PT certification, and what made you do that?
So I had a couple of careers before I went into personal training. So I was a teacher. My last class was a grade 2-3 combined class. And then we had our first kid, our daughter. And at the time, you were only allowed 6 months mat leave. And we just couldn't do it. It wasn't for us, And I understand we were very, very fortunate, and that's not for everybody. But so I decided to stay home, and we thought, okay, let's just have let's have 3 kids turned into 4, because number 3 was number 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And so so I was home, raising the kids, so I put the teaching thing aside. In that time, I was involved in the fashion scene in Ottawa. So I was working, I did some modeling and stuff, but at the time, because I have the kids, I was assisting the woman that was doing all the fashion events in Ottawa. So I was her assistant. So that would be spring and fall. So it kind of kept me busy. And then when the kids were all in school, we thought, okay, I should work now, right? The kids are in school. And I had done some stuff for, at the time it was called CGOH, some little fashion clips. And I saw this little tiny ad in the Ottawa Sun that said, how would you like your 5 minutes of fame to turn into an hour? And Rogers was looking for a host for a TV show, a daytime, it was called Daytime. And so I auditioned for that. But I didn't get it because they already had a woman and they wanted a man. But then in the end, she ended up leaving. So they called me back and I got the job.
Wow.
So I was at Rogers TV, doing the daytime show with my fabulous friend Derek. And then a headhunter from Toronto found me and asked me to come to Toronto and audition for a national show. And so I did. I went to Toronto, I auditioned, and I got the gig. So I ended up, hosting the Mom Show for 5-6 seasons. So I lived in Ottawa, and they would fly me out to Toronto, and then I would shoot 5 shows in 3 days, and then I'd come home. I'd get home on Wednesday, right before the school bus. The kids would get off. So, it was a juggling act. So I did that for, 5 seasons. I can't remember, it's 5 or 6, but it's a great time. And then, of course, then reality TV became a really big thing. Studios were closing everywhere, and so unless I moved to Toronto, there was nothing else for me in Toronto. Right. So I came back home, and I thought, okay, what am I going to do? But in all of that time, I trained to run my first marathon, and then, when that was over, I swore I would never run again. And then I started lifting weights, and it just, all this time I had this stuff in the back of my mind that I was doing for myself. And I was trying to think, okay, what am I going to do? Like, what do I do? And then my trainer, my personal trainer, and who's a friend, said to me, well, you love this. Like, why don't you do this? Like, it from doing it, so why don't you? So I thought, oh, I do love this. And helping people has always sort of been my thing, and connecting with people. Anyway, so I took the certification. So this would have been, so I've been at Freeform 11 years, so this would have been maybe 13 years ago. So it took 2 years to get all the stuff done, the certification, and whatever that is.
Yep.
And then my personal trainer knew the owner at the time and said, you need to meet with them because I think that their vibe is you. I think you'll mesh really well. And so I met with Ashley and we connected instantly and the rest is history.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I've been all over the place.
No, actually, I had no idea, but that's so cool. And I feel like it makes sense that you worked with so many different people. You've worked in very forward-facing jobs, and I guess you've been on that forefront of like taking care of yourself, presenting well for yourself. And I think there's like a lot in the fitness industry right now about like people are trying to shy away from, the whole looking good thing, and they're trying to deny that aesthetics is like really important to people, and it's amazing. And I think that taking care of yourself and having confidence and looking your best self is so good for people, for their mental health, and like confidence, competence. It's amazing. Obviously, it's not the only goal. Like, you want to be healthy, but
no, and I think the way that we see confidence doesn't necessarily equate with, what society says that outside shell is meant to look like. Because, if I'm working out and training really hard, that makes me feel beautiful. Forget the rest, right? I've got braces, I'm in my 50s. Those are the kind of things people say, wow, it doesn't matter when I'm doing those things and lifting weights.
Yeah.
So, when people think, well, is it right that somebody might be overweight and have an injury, but they feel really beautiful and powerful because they're doing these things.
Yeah.
To me, that's where we win.
Yeah.
Right? It's not what society says. It's how are you feeling when you're doing it.
Yeah, yeah. And just the pursuit of bettering yourself, health and feeling good. Those little habits that stack up and build that confidence and that sense of trust in yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. I remembered to make a note of something that you said. You were talking about how you were training for a marathon, and then you said you'd never run again after you did the marathon. Why? What happened?
Because it's hard. No, it's just it's hard.
Yeah.
The training is hard. It took me a year, and 42 kilometers is, wow.
Yeah.
And it was hot that day, and I did it, ran the whole thing, didn't walk, and then that was it for me.
That's so
and then
funny.
I shrunk to short distance, little jogs. I'm okay with jogging. Just I'm not doing distances anymore. I did a few
so
10s
funny.
afterwards,
Yeah.
A couple of 10s, a couple of 5s. I thought that whole, it's just so big. Glad I did it. I'm not discouraging anyone from doing it.
Yeah.
But wow, that was hard. Same thing, I did some, I really enjoy pushing myself. So I did the marathon, and then I did some bodybuilding shows. So I did 3 figure shows.
No way.
Yeah. My best placing was 2nd place. Which
Wow.
was really cool. That was my 40th birthday gift to myself, to get up on the stage.
That's crazy.
Ended up in 2nd place, which was really good. It was really cool. So I did that 3 years, almost 3 years in a row. And
Okay.
but that's really hard on the body.
Yes.
The whole dieting thing, it's
100%.
So, it was fun. Loved that. And again, it involves lifting weights, which makes me very happy.
Yeah.
And then when that was done, I thought, okay, I need to do something else. So then I got into rowing on the rowing machine. And so I was competing in the Canadian Indoor Rowing Championships.
Who are you? I'm so
Right.
confused.
And that's in Mississauga, and that's usually the first Saturday in February. And so I did that 3 years in a row, I think. My best place there was 2nd or 3rd, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. So, this is just what I do. Like when I dive into something, I dive in like head first and I go
Yeah.
right to the max.
You're so goal-oriented.
I love it.
It's
you know?
amazing.
For me, if there's a goal, it's really good. So now my goal is to forgive myself for having these 4 weeks of 5 hours of watching the Tour de France. It's the same things, I'm telling myself, like, isn't it terrible? Like I should be on my bike and I should be, and I think these are the things I would tell my clients. You're allowed to have a vacation.
Yes.
You're allowed to take a step back and sit and watch these, men and women race and sip on your coffee and then have the rest of your day to, anyway. So
That's almost a good thing too, right? Like that you have those checks and balances and that you've built these habits for so long that like in the back of your head, like, no, I'm going to get back to it. And, a little bit of fear sometimes is a good thing. Obviously guilt can be burdensome, but I think it's a reflection of, you don't have to listen to them, and you can step back and just watch your thoughts and be like, hey, okay, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of guilt right now, but that doesn't make or break me. That doesn't define me. It doesn't mean that I'm a lazy person. You don't need to identify with every thought and feeling that you have about your own behavior and who you are. Like you can have a week off the gym and not think, oh, I'm so lazy. You can just be like, oh, I really
still
don't, I don't
riding my
feel like
bike.
going to the gym today, or I don't feel like doing that this week,
Right.
or, you know, whatever. It's
So I've got
fine.
my gym membership lined up. It's so weird to train in a different place.
Yeah.
So I've been a few times, but I've been on my bike a lot, which I'm really enjoying. It's kind of nice to, to get out and go for long, long rides on a Tuesday afternoon, right?
So you went like into rowing, and then was
And
it
then I started
cycling where you really
cycling.
started to
Then
pick
I
that
started
up?
cycling, and my goal there was just to I started cycling maybe 15 years ago. And I
It's the
wanted
longest
to
ride you've done.
get good, a century. So my
Wow.
goal was to ride a century, 100. It was a metric century, 100 kilometers.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that was the goal. So I've done that twice. Not easy. Again, usually not easy on the bum mostly.
Yes.
Despite
Oh
the
my God.
padding. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's so bad. That's actually the one thing that makes me wonder why everyone gets into cycling in the
I mean,
first place.
I can do anything under 80 kilometers. My bum is fine because I've got really good shorts. I've also been doing it for 15 years now, so I think, it's okay.
Your bones are
My,
conditioned.
yeah, my bones are conditioned, but I also, like there's something to be said about having the right seat. So I had my bike fitted for me, and it's not a $10,000 bicycle, far from it. But the trick is if you think you're going to enjoy cycling, make sure your bike is fitted for you.
Mm-hmm.
And there are pros in Ottawa that do that. That your bars are in the right spot, so that there's no pain in your shoulders and your low back, and then the seat's in the right spot, so that all of those things. And once I did that, I think I did that maybe 10 years ago. All the discomfort I had was just gone. So
Oh,
now
there you go.
I just ride easy.
Worth it for sure, especially if you're
much
putting a
fun.
lot of miles on your body.
Yeah.
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 That's so amazing. Like, I'm so curious about how you became so goal oriented, or if that was a challenge for you at any point in your life, or if that's just a natural way
It must be a natural way because I think people say something and then I go, oh, because it never occurred to me to run a marathon. And I had a trainer at the time, and she had said to me, actually, this was really interesting. She had said, what do you, because I couldn't remember sport. It'd been a long, long time. So now my kids were, I don't know, I might have been 30 years old, give or take, okay? And now the kids were all in school, and I just got this daytime gig, and I'm like, okay, now I need to just, there's time for me. So
You had a trainer at that time.
so I hired her
Okay.
at the time, right? I didn't have her before them. And, we were doing the normal stuff just like I do now. And she had asked me, what do you enjoy? And I was like, it's been so long, I don't remember. I don't know. Like, is it swimming? Is it soccer? Is it team? And she said, what did you remember that you enjoyed doing as a kid? And I thought, I really loved running with my dad. My dad was a police officer, and we would run in the field in Blackburn Hamlet. And I remember that, and I thought, I really loved running. She goes, okay, so let's run. And then that's what got me. So she put it in my brain, and I thought, oh, of course, I can do that. And then she moved, and I got a different personal trainer who started lifting weights and stuff. She's like, you build muscle really easily. Like, you should do a show. I thought, I should do a what? So again, someone's giving me this idea.
Really?
When I did rowing, it was my brother-in-law. He's an Australian rower. He's been rowing his whole entire life. And he said, since you like cycling, you should try rowing because they kind of go well together. And, we could do the indoor rowing championship. I thought, okay, sure, why not? So I think it's like I get ideas, and I'm like, oh, sure, why not? Let's just do it.
Yeah, but you're still like, you seem uniquely receptive to that kind of stuff. Like, it takes a certain kind of confidence to be like, oh, wait, yeah, I can do this. Like, where does that come from?
Well, maybe because other than the running thing, everything else came after I had started it. So like I'd started weight training with a trainer, and then a year later she said you should do a show. So would I have believed it if she had said it on the first day I met her without having ever lifted a weight? I don't know. But because I knew what the goal to get there was going to be what we're doing now, minus the dieting, I didn't know how bad that was going to be.
Really?
But I think most of the things, because I sort of dipped my toe in it and loved it already, the next step seemed easy. So if you said to me tomorrow, let's, I don't know, another challenge, would I do it? I don't know. That hasn't happened yet. Everything I've done is because I've already dabbled in it a little bit first. And then
your goal came from there?
My goal came from there. I'm like, why not? Somebody said something. I thought, I can do that. Sure.
Interesting, because that's so in keeping, I guess, with what people say about trying anything new. It's just like, just do it. Like, just try it.
do
What's the
it.
worst that could happen, right?
Yeah,
And then
just
it's
do
sort
it.
of like, then you start to get ideas about things, right? Like, people are so concerned about the end when they're starting something. They're like, oh, like, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to be at this level. So why even start in the first place? And it's such a poor attitude to have. But you seem like the kind of person who's very willing to just say yes and try something. Do you feel like you naturally, like, latch on to things or are good at things, or do you feel like you're bad at them in the beginning and then you sort of get better? Like, do you feel like the things that you end up?
I like to give my all. I don't know that I don't think I think I don't want to say mediocre, but I kind of do things and I do them well. But I'm not a champion. Like I don't, like my century took us 4.5 hours, right? Like to get that 100 kilometers in. And
I have no idea how, is that average or is that
100
high?
kilometers,
Or?
That's low. I mean, that's high. No, that's a lot of hours.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Okay.
I mean, but again, if somebody's listening, would probably say, holy crap, I could never do that in under 6. So, this is probably me being hard on myself, right? So, I don't think I just think that I do things, I put my whole heart in it, but I'm always happy with the end result because I did it, right? So whether I don't go by what is technically a good century and what is, a marathon in under 4 hours. Well, that didn't happen for me, right? It was over 4 hours, but I did it.
So your goal was just to do it. Well, you didn't care about the
I don't
time.
really care. That I got a medal when I was doing some of the bodybuilding stuff. I thought, okay, that was really cool.
Yeah.
And I aimed for, first place finish in the other shows, but not getting one doesn't deter me. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well,
so just goal oriented, but not necessarily makes me want to quit if I don't end up in a number 1 position. That's, because the journey is so much fun. Like I never look better than when I'm aiming for a goal because it just means you're training towards something, which is great.
Yeah, but you're at the perfect intersection of someone who holds themselves accountable and tries hard and puts your all into everything, but you're not a perfectionist, it seems. Like you don't really
I'm not
Well, I guess you could
a little bit perfectionist.
Yeah?
Just not upset by the end result.
That's
just
impressive. That's really hard to do.
Yeah.
I struggle with that. Like I don't think that's I think that's a rare gift.
Okay.
Or quality.
I don't know. But just to me, I don't know. I want to do my best, and que sera, sera.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Pretty crazy. I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about your experience being a mother and working full time and also taking care of your fitness. Like, what was your schedule like? Like, how did you do that?
With Freeform or before?
I guess both. I mean, because you were having kids, but I mean, it's not like your kids stopped being part of your life.
No, of course
when
not.
you're
Of course not.
when you were
So-
working full time at Freeform, right? So
Before Freeform, when I was doing the TV stuff, my husband had a full-time job. So, oftentimes people ask me that, and I think if you have a buddy in your life, whether it's your spouse, your partner, your sister, your nanny, your best friend, your neighbor, if you have a partner that can help you, because it's very hard to have big ambitious goals. Like running a marathon takes a lot of training, right?
Yeah.
So you have to, you want to train until you get to about 30 kilometers, which could take 3 hours, 3.5 hours, depending on how you run. So you need to be gone for that amount of time. So when I was training for running, I could only do it after 6 p.m. So I would take care of the kids all day. My husband would come home from work, and then I would go out and do my run in the evening, right? Because then he could take over from the kids. So this is how it worked for us, right? Because that was my job. Then when I started working in Toronto, we were only there 3 days a week, so I could train the other days, and then I could do the treadmill in the hotel on the other days that I was there, right? So you have to make it fit, right? And then when I started working at Freeform, well, my workouts were kind of easy because I could fit them in while I was at work. I'm working in a gym.
for sure.
So on days when everything was going well and I had, a little bit of time, or I could just stay a little bit later. I started too early to, I would get there at 5:45. So I'm not a morning person for lifting weights. Kudos to all my 6
know,
a.m.
same. I hate
my
it. I'm
6 a.m. clients. I mean, I bow down.
Me too. They push so
unbelievable.
hard. I'm like, I would never do this.
I know.
Like,
Amazing.
Yeah.
So my favorite time is 10 a.m. But, I was also managing. So it just sort of depended, because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my work. So I wanted to make sure I had everything done. And if there was time, then my work could get in. In the winter, I ski. In the summer, I ride my bike. So there's always an activity that I'm doing so that I know that I'm moving. So for now, there's not a goal. There's just keep moving so that you can, if one day I'm blessed with grandchildren, I'll be able to move with them, right? That's what I just want to be able to move.
Yeah.
Right. At this point, I don't care about competing in anything or, who knows? I may land on a goal one day, but right now the goal is health and mobility. That's what I want. So because I had someone to help me, that's how I could fit in all the training for all the stuff that I had to do.
Right.
You know, whether it was the bodybuilding competitions or whether it was the running. We ended up getting a rowing machine so I could row at home. And then, you know, when the kids were in school, because my hours were a little bit all over the place. And then once I started working at Freeform, I could just kind of work around that. So having someone to help you when you have children changes the game.
Did you always have that natural priority, or was it ever a struggle
No,
for you? Did you
it
feel
didn't
like,
start
I hate
until I was
this?
in my 30s.
Okay.
It really wasn't a thing, you know. I kind of you live life is good, and you know, I don't know what it was. It just actually I do know what it was, but you know, we had interviewed someone when I got the gig at Daytime. We were giving away free 6 months personal training to someone. The station was, I don't know, and then a particular woman won, and she came in to interview with us before she won and talk to us. And she was, you know, we were interviewing her like you are now. And I could, you know, the reasons why she wanted this, and there was so much trouble in her life. Anyways, then she comes back like, I don't know, 6 weeks later to tell us how great it, you know, how it'd been going. She was a completely different human. I remember I was supposed to interview her and I was looking at her and then when it was all done, you know, in the break, I said to Derek, my co-host, I need that. Like whatever that is, positivity and glowing and joy. And I thought, that's amazing. If 6 weeks can do that. And that was also in the back of my mind when I started thinking about, you know, later in life, training people. I'm like, that was amazing, the change for her. So that's when I sought out the trainer that she won the sessions from. I went to see her and I thought, okay, what you've done for her, I need that. Like I've been a mom for so long, I've neglected myself. Neglected myself in the sense that I haven't done anything for me, right?
Yeah.
Big important things for me. But it was seeing her and her transformation, not as much physical as just this emotional, this well-being that just emanated from her. And that's sort of how it began.
Did you have a similar experience when you
I
started?
did. I'm like, holy crap, why didn't I think about this sooner? But, you know, again, forgiving ourselves. I was busy. I had 4 kids under 4 for a long, long time. Like we had, you know, and we were busy and my husband was working really hard and I was a stay-at-home mom. And so, you know, it's not that I wasn't moving. I was lifting up giant babies all day long,
100%.
right? We were doing activities and walking and, you know, we had the kids on our bikes and we were things, but I thought something that's just for me. The time was right when I was 34, something like that, early 30s.
Which is when you finished having kids.
Which is, I had my last kid at 30. My twins were last, so I had them the year I turned 30.
Wow.
So then by the time they were 4, I thought, okay, wait a minute, this, you know, it's easy now. Everybody's out of diapers, you know, they were 4, 6, and 8. And then it just seemed like it was the right time, and I just dove right in.
And then how old were you when you got the job at Freeform?
So that would have been 15 years, how many years? 11 years ago.
Said, yeah.
So 40, 45?
Okay.
44, 45. Again, you know, like you think personal trainer in their 40s? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you can be anything you want, anytime you want. That's how I look
It's
at
very
it.
inspiring. Like, and I think it's pretty in keeping with like a trend that's happening now with people's careers, where they just sort of do what they want. Like you're not tied to one career all your life. It's like
Unlike our parents and grandparents,
Exactly.
right? They had a career,
Yeah.
and that was their career/identity, right? Whereas, you know, my kids look at me, they have a dad who's been, you know, a finance guy his whole life, changed departments and so forth, and, you know, did really well for himself, but it's always been about, you know, finance and budgeting and money and numbers. Whereas I had all these various things happening all over the place. And so they have both ideas where one is perfectly fine and one is perfectly fine. You do you, right? You don't
Yeah.
have to, but if you love it, stick to it. And if things happen in life, so for me, a show got canceled, and then, you know, the teaching, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Like things just sort of organically happened, and so I just went along with it.
Yeah. And it sounds like, I mean, even to stay at Freeform for 11 years, like what kept you?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved my clients. You know, they eventually become, you build friendships.
It's
right?
crazy.
You build friendships. And I would come home, and of course, my husband doesn't know any, he doesn't know who I'm like, oh my gosh, one of my clients, he's like, how do you know all this stuff? I'm like, I know everything about everyone. It's in my brain
I
because they're my
know.
friends,
I know.
right?
Yeah, it's true. I see them more than I see some of my friends,
Oh,
some of
for
even
sure.
my family
Listen,
members. It's
for
crazy.
11 years, you know, Tasha, I'm talking about you. She was the first person I spoke to 3 days a week at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
She was my 3 days a week at 6 a.m. So, right, every day she's the first person I
No,
spoke to,
exactly.
right?
It's
And so, but aside from the clients, being able to help people move better, feel better about themselves, and the organization, I mean,
I know, like the values.
the values, and the fact that and again, I've been very fortunate because in all of the careers that I've had, the values matched what they said. But then when you come into a world where it's not television, because that's a little bit different,
Yeah.
when you come into a world that's a job, that's paid differently, where for your hours, you wonder what that's going to be like. And the values they have on paper are the values that they live by. And that was
I
it
know.
makes everything about going to work it's really wonderful.
One of my favorite parts about it is I really feel like I can be completely myself,
Yes.
which is so important for me. And as someone who cares about, holistic health beyond just being a personal trainer, beyond being like a meathead, like it's great. And it really bleeds into the culture. Like, and it's so nice. One of my clients this week was even saying like, I'm really comfortable here. I'm comfortable with all the people. I know everyone. It's just like
That's it. It's like a
it's
little
so cute. It's like a
family.
little small,
Yeah.
like it's
And because
great.
clients tend to come at the same time, they see the same people, usually all the
Exactly.
same
They
time.
make friends.
And then it creates this familiar, everybody knows everyone, and then then they just start talking to each other. And there's just something about it that's just organically
Yeah.
reassuring and calming, and it's just really a really beautiful place.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny that you mentioned the like first thing 6 a.m. because I was just thinking about that last week. Like when I said hi to one of my clients, I was like, this is the first word that I uttered today. It's
Yes.
like so
Right?
it's crazy, but it's so you bond so
Yeah.
quickly and it's so nice to see them succeed. Like there's been multiple times where I've gotten chills or teared up
Yeah.
at them, getting an extra rep or lifting more weight, and it's so rewarding.
And allowing that bond to grow, because oftentimes people come into a gym situation and they say the right words. I want to get strong. I want to get fit. But then as you get to know them and then you build a friendship, you realize, okay, there's a lot of stuff there, and this is helping with that stuff, whatever that may be. Whether it's a difficult history or a difficult present, what's something that's happening now, or really they have like, what I really want to do is just one pull-up, just one, but I don't dare say it because I'm a woman,
Yes.
right? Eventually, you learn these things and you realize that they're here to be with us for so much more than what they originally said when they first came in,
Yes.
right? Because they allow themselves to tell, most of them, not everybody, and that's okay. A lot of people just like to keep these things to themselves, and so we'll adapt to these personalities. That's our job,
Yeah.
right? But for me, and maybe it's just for my personality, eventually you hear a deeper goal, and it just comes organically, and then you can make them, you can kind of secretly throw in some things to help them reach that goal,
Yeah.
and then that's where the chills come in, right?
Yeah,
Because
so true.
they feel a way that you want them to feel.
Yeah, and they're trying new things, and I love looking back at old programs, old things. Like, oh my God, look at where you were a year ago. Like, we wouldn't even. And it's so easy to get kind of spoiled when you start to really, get your numbers up, get your weights up, whatever. Yeah, I have a client who's doing like 5, 6 pull-ups now who wasn't doing one before, like a year ago, and it's crazy. He'll be like, oh, only 6 today, and it's like. It's crazy to think that, like, a year ago you weren't even doing one, right? So these things happen so quickly because time flies, and then you look back and it's just so rewarding, and you really see it. It's even rewarding for my own training when I see how much they progress and how much it's like same rep count every week. Like they're really not. It doesn't seem like they're progressing on paper, and then randomly it's like up, and just seeing that constantly is affirming for my own when I'm like, oh my God, this hasn't moved in a while. You know, is this going to move? And then it does, right? So it's funny to see that back and forth of learning from my clients and then them learning from me. And it's just like, it's such a nice relationship to have.
I find that, my job was to help my clients grow, but I think that they've helped me grow in 11 years. I
God.
think we are helping each other grow
Yeah.
as human beings.
100%.
There's just something, again, it's, when you work with people in that way, some of them, they need to allow themselves to feel, to be, what's the word I'm looking for? To be real, to be, what's that word I'm looking for when you allow yourself to kind of open yourself up to the public?
Vulnerable.
Vulnerable. There's the word. I was thinking in French. I'm back to living in French full time now that
Oh, that's amazing.
but that vulnerability, right? And then, when they do that, you can as well. And then together we just grow.
Yeah.
Grow, as humans. It's great.
It's so true. I'm so curious about your journey in the fitness industry and what it was like 11 years ago, especially as a woman. Like, what was that like?
I think way back then, it's amazing how things change. And just like there are fads now, there were fads then.
Yeah.
And I don't like fads. Because, if somebody said to me today, all right, you can only pick 10 things, 10 exercises to do for the rest of my life, I'd say, that's actually okay.
Yeah.
Because there are 10 that are really great. We can push and we can pull and we can squat and we can,
That's so true.
those 10 will take you to all the levels. The other stuff is fun.
Yeah.
Adds in, maybe secondary muscles, but I mean, the basic 10, right?
So true.
But at the time, there was a lot of leg separation of body parts. So when I was training for, and maybe again, when you're training for a competition, probably that's more helpful. But even before I got there, it was like a leg day and a back day and the pectorals.
All the body part splits. Yeah.
Biceps, triceps, shoulders, right? It was split up that way.
Yeah.
And so when I got hired in, I don't know, 11 years ago, whatever year that was, I remember starting that way with my clients because when you take the PT courses, they don't really teach you about training.
Well, it's always changing too,
It's
right?
always
Like,
changing, but they it's kind of like when I did 4 years of university to become a teacher, and then I was thrown into a class. I thought, okay, no, I'm not prepared for this.
Yeah.
And when I did my 2 years of PT, I was thrown into a gym, and then you realize, because they don't tell you when they're doing the PT, that everyone has something, a bad back, a bad knee, a bad hip, So you've got these whole things. I'm going to make somebody squat, and then you realize, their shoulders are forward and their hips are all tucked in. You're like, can't do that.
No.
But
Yeah.
so there's a lot of learning on the fly, which is not a bad thing because they give you feedback. But I realized when I first started that this whole body part thing that's not how people, separating it by, that's not how you get.
Move. That's not how you
That's
move or
not how you
live.
move in real life.
Yes.
That's not how we live in
Yeah.
real life. So I dialed that back right away. And then I was looking around, learning from my colleagues at the time, and I'm realizing, okay, a lot of people are doing anterior, posterior, push, pull, depending on if somebody's coming in once a week or 4 times a week. Because again, that'll change.
Depends, yeah.
If you're coming in 4 times a week, we could do this month for fun, leg day,
Yeah.
back day, because,
Yeah.
and then next month I'll change it all. There's room to maneuver and all that stuff.
Yeah. It's like, well, what's the best split? It's like, well, how many times are you coming in a week? Like, what are you doing?
There's
Like,
so
what
many.
are your injuries?
There's
Like,
so
who are
many
you?
what ifs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many what ifs.
Yeah.
But I certainly find that I prefer now, in the last few years, a full body idea. Just a full body idea. And if there's an injury, you can still maneuver around the injury.
Yes.
Right. So I've had people who, a client who had a full Achilles tendon tear, and then she would come in her crutches, and then we would sit, and we could do all these things in a seated position, arms and core and shoulders, and get her cart in ropes, and there's a lot of things we can do. So this thing where the injured part needs rest, 100%, until your doctor says, I'm not a doctor. So if your doctor says you can start doing things, we can work together. But, this whole thing of when you have, and I'm talking minor, I'm not talking about a major injury here, you can still move around it, which is great for healing up here.
100%.
Right?
Well, even physically, right? You're telling your brain like, oh no, it's okay. Like you can get back into this. You can move here again. It's not catastrophic. But what kind of crazy trends did you see outside of like that? Because I mean, the bro split stuff, like the biceps, triceps,
Yes.
that's still very much
Yeah.
alive. How about like diet trends? Like I know that there was a big like low fat thing for a
Yes,
long
but
time.
I think because I was always healthy. I never fell into those fads. Like in my mind, just the way I was brought up by my parents, don't overdo anything. Whatever it is, don't overdo it. So don't overdo the sugar, don't overdo the chips, don't overdo the pop, don't overdo alcohol. Like that was always the thing. So my life was always just never overdoing it. So I don't think I ever fell into a fad because my thing was just as long as I don't overdo anything, I'll be okay.
Well, that's like such a great and healthy way to think about it, because some people are like, don't eat that. And it's like, okay, well then now I want it, right? It's like,
That's the biggest thing I tell my class. They will tell me, okay, I'm going to cut out cake. I'm like, when you cut out cake, you're going to be thinking about cake
all the time.
every day, all day, every day.
And that's so sad at a birthday party. You don't eat cake.
Right?
Like, what are you talking
Don't
about?
do that. Have cake. But, just don't have it every day, right?
Yeah.
So you choose, do you want to just, for me, we have a huge family. I have 4 kids and a husband and parents, and he's got siblings, and so we're having cake every week because there's always a birthday, right? So I look at it that way. If you want to have cake, but if you don't have a huge family, tell yourself, when do you want to have cake? So for me, beer is a Friday night thing, right? So I don't drink during the week. And then on Friday, we would order pizza, and then we would watch TV, all the 6 of us together and whatever, and I would have that one drink. And that was great for me. I mean, because, and I never felt bad about it, right?
Exactly.
Because it's Friday, and I'm with my family, and it's part of my, so I guess I just was always in moderation, and you'll be fine.
Exactly.
I mean, it's different when you're training, and then you have to cut all the stuff because you got to get lean, because you got to show. That's temporary.
Yeah, completely different.
Temporary.
Yeah.
And that's, but at the time, the muscle growth at the time was a mixture of protein powder and Gatorade. So vanilla protein powder.
And Gatorade.
With orange Gatorade. It was really delicious.
Like a creamsicle?
It was a creamsicle with water. But, I mean, huge sugar, which, of course, was big on, I was just... I'll have to show you pictures later. It worked really well.
Wow.
But would you do that today? That's nuts. Of course not.
That's so funny. But it's so healthy to think that way. I mean, regarding the don't overdo it thing. And I think there's portion control is such a lost art. People are so heavy on demonizing things right now. And it's like the big thing to be like, don't eat this, don't eat that. And, fear everything. And it creates this anxiety and orthorexia and obsession
and confusion. If we keep cutting stuff out, what's left?
No,
So
actually.
what's left? So how about this? Just imagine that you want to eat, pretty. You want to have a pretty serving of vegetables. You want to have a nice serving of protein, and then you can throw in a starch in there if you like, and if you don't like, you can't. If it looks good and if it fits on a dessert plate-ish, but it could not an empty dessert plate, a nice full dessert plate. That's a nice serving. Right.
That's another thing. Plating your food.
Yes.
Seeing it.
The thing with this is something that I studied a long, long time ago. Actual dinner plates are the size of dessert plates. Those were our dinner plates at the time. And we would fill them and eat, and then maybe go for seconds. You're allowed to go for seconds. And then somewhere along the way, our dinner plates got really, really big. And so much of eating is visual. So if you go to a French restaurant and they give you this little fancy pâté, and there's 2 little dinky potatoes per parisienne, right? Yeah. And with 2 asparagus. And you look at your plate and it's this big thing and you're like, I'm going to be starved. But if they put all that on a regular sized plate, it probably would look just enough, right?
Yeah.
So there's all these things that mess with our mind. Just dial it back a little bit. Look at your serving, try a smaller plate because it looks like a lot of food. It probably is. It's that big darn
probably more
plate,
calories than you think.
Right?
It is.
More than you think. And then if it's, that you cooked it yourself and didn't come from a box or a bag, chances are it's going to be fine.
Yes.
You'll be fine.
So true. And taking your time, digestion starts in the brain.
And don't look at your phone while you're eating.
Don't look at your phone. Don't look at your phone.
Right?
Don't look at your phone. It's crazy.
Your brain needs to know that you're eating.
Yes.
So while you're doing all that, then you go, oh, I'm done. I'm sorry. There needs to be a connection. Mind, body, your gut. There's a connection there. Put your phone down. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're eating by yourself, you could always turn on some music if you wanted to. If you want, maybe the news is on. You might want to see the news. I'm okay with that. But focus on what you're doing. Scrolling while you're eating. I mean, scrolling, period. That's a whole other show. But,
it is true. But it's the lost art of stillness.
Stillness. But fueling your body, that's fabulous. Take a moment. It's even better, if you have the opportunity to eat with someone once in a while. So you may not have a family, but you could go out on a weekend or even a weeknight. Not everybody gets up at 4 a.m. I don't miss that, just so you know.
I know.
That's the one thing I don't miss. But yeah, observe what you're doing and then take it in and be grateful for it. And be grateful that you're fueling yourself and that you have this opportunity to eat really good food and fuel your life, fuel your
Yeah,
body.
there's studies about the number of meals eaten with other people a week and its connection to happiness. And I think it also does something for like regulating your appetite, regulating how much you're eating. Not to say that we need to have like, we shouldn't use other people as like police for how much we should be eating or feel any sort of shame if you feel like you need to eat more, especially if you're in front of other people. But that connectedness fills you up in a way that, you know, being alone and scrolling on your phone and being distracted, eating super quickly because you're in a rush all the time, like that really is not great for your digestion. It's not great for appetite regulation. It's not great for connectedness to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Have you ever gone into the whole nutrition dieting world? Are you like curious about carnivore?
I'm curious
all
about
that
it. I
stuff?
think, no, I don't. I'm curious about it. I couldn't, teach it, for instance. But if someone says to me, what's the best way to eat? I would say, well. That's my answer. Well, don't follow a fad.
Yeah.
You don't start measuring yet. That's a little bit complicated. Just, usually the first thing I have people do is write it down. Just for 3 days. Pick or 4 days, actually. I would say pick 2 weekdays and then the weekend. And write down every morsel you have, all of it. Because you'd be surprised when you look at the list, you go, oh, I didn't know I did that. I didn't know I did it. I bought some frozen yogurt. I hadn't done that in forever. This mango flavored frozen yogurt. It's in my house in my freezer. And it's so delicious. And that every once in a while when I open my freezer to get ice, I see it there. And then I realized yesterday as I was having, I thought, man, I think I'm having 2 or 3 a day. And it didn't really occur to me, that I'm just putting a few teaspoons. But we do that without thinking. So if we take a moment to write down everything that we eat, sometimes it's just looking at it and saying, okay, it's not that I want to take out the mango frozen yogurt, right?
No.
But it's just maybe not having it,
Every time you open
every time I open my freezer,
Yeah.
right? Or twice a day or whatever. Maybe just save it, a small portion at the end of dinner.
Well, make it a
let's
special
say.
occasion, right?
Or
Because then
make
you
it
have
a
something to
special
look
occasion.
forward to as opposed to like taking a bite. That's another part of like plating your food. You know how much you're eating
Yeah.
as opposed to, just eating out of the fridge and, it's kind of fun and nice to do that. But if
Right.
that's your goal to, get a better read on what you're eating, how often you're eating, and maybe losing fat, then, it's a great way to understand your habits, to pay attention. But that also requires a stillness and a focus and a capacity to like look within and take time for yourself and pause. Mm-hmm. That's very opposite to the way our society is going now, which is like fast, go, go, go. Like always the next thing, always need to have another habit or wellness thing or another thing on my to-do list. Like just get really good at the basics, like move your body. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have the perfect split. You need to go to the gym 5-6 times a week. You don't need to know exactly how to hit every single perfect fiber in your back and your legs. And you don't need to, have a sauna, cold plunge, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to optimize everything. Just eat well, fill your plate, laugh with your friends, lift some weight.
Yeah.
That rhymed.
Balance. I like it.
That's so funny. I want to play a little game.
Okay. Uh-oh. Okay.
So I want to do a little kiss, marry, kill, gym, fitness, health edition.
Okay.
So we're going to start with gym trends. You're going to tell me each one that you want to kiss, marry, or kill. So we're going to
Okay, wait a minute. So kill means I hate it? What's
Yeah,
kissing?
you want kiss is like
It's okay.
yeah, you like it, and then marry is like,
like
you're
forever.
like yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Kiss, marry, or kill.
Kiss,
All
marry,
right.
or kill. So we're gonna do. This is interesting. I don't know if you've ever tried these. F.5, CrossFit, or Pilates.
Kill for me.
No, okay, but what you have to? Each one is a different.
So what's, I don't know what F45 is.
Okay, so it's like it's kind of similar to CrossFit. It's like
Yeah, no, kill.
More
anything
hit.
CrossFit?
It's more hit.
No, anything CrossFit?
Kill?
For me is a kill.
Okay,
Not doing
so
that.
which one are you marrying?
Between which ones?
F.45 and Pilates.
There's only 2 there?
There's F.45, CrossFit, and Pilates.
Okay, I'll marry Pilates.
Marry Pilates.
Sure.
Why do you want to marry Pilates?
Because it's probably more mobility geared.
Okay.
So that's very good for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you'll kill CrossFit. So I guess you'll kiss F45. You'll
kiss
try it, but you're not
F45.
married to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay, this is a fun one. Gym selfies, matching sets, and barefoot lifting. Kind of all over the place, but
Barefoot lifting, I will marry.
really?
Yeah.
I'm
Love
surprised.
that.
Okay.
It really feels grounded.
Okay.
For someone like me, I do my best deadlifts and squats if I'm barefoot.
Okay, cool.
Sure. So I would marry that.
Nice.
And then remind me the other two?
Gym selfies and matching sets. So like you're wearing like a cute
Oh no, yeah, that's
blue top and a
I don't.
cute-
I kill that. I'm going to the
funny.
gym to work out, and the selfies. Sure, it's fun. I don't mean, but again, in the gym, I be mindful to not take somebody in the photo.
No, it's so true. It's crazy how acceptable
Right?
it is to
It's a
just film and
trend.
take
I
pictures of
know.
everyone.
And then you
It's
get mad
insane.
when someone's walking in front of you. You're in a
Oh
public place.
my God, I know.
So I mean,
I know.
if you're feeling cute and strong, do it, but be mindful.
Yeah, I think like it can make you feel good if you feel confident and you're wearing something cute.
And don't do it in the change rooms.
Yeah.
Not allowed to do that. Come on,
Oh
people.
my God, it's crazy. Okay, ooh, this is a good one. Kiss, marry, kill, ice baths, sauna, and red light therapy.
So, sauna, marry.
I agree.
Okay, love that. So the ice bath would be a maybe.
I say kill.
Yeah. So I don't love the ice bath because it can lead to high anxiety, and I don't need more anxiety.
No, yeah.
So it's not anyway. So yeah.
And I think also for women, like more sensitive. A lot of studies show that women are more sensitive to ice baths. That doesn't mean that you're gonna die if you do them, or it's bad if you do them. I
no.
just don't really care to
Yeah,
do that.
me neither. And what's the third thing?
Red light therapy.
I don't know what that is.
It's like
It's for the skin, isn't it?
yeah, like skin and like
sure.
There's a lot of
Maybe.
studies that show that it's very beneficial, but also you can just go and get sunlight exposure.
Well,
so
yeah.
that's why I kiss.
Kiss.
I feel like it's okay.
Yeah, that's
I'll
all
do
right.
it. But sauna definitely marry.
Absolutely.
Like the sweating is so good for you. It's good for your heart.
Short periods of time. Don't
Short.
go in there for an hour.
No, like 15, 20 minutes, money.
And listen to your body. If you're not feeling great, get out.
Yeah. You can sweat out a lot of garbage from the sauna.
Yep.
Okay. Exercises edition, kiss, marry, kill, Bulgarian split squats, leg press, and RDLs.
Oh, can I have them all?
No.
What?
You have to choose.
Oh my God. Okay, so we'll kill the leg press.
Okay.
We'll keep the other two. Which one? RDL
Or Bulgarian split squats.
Bulgarian. Okay, so Bulgarian will kiss. Those are killers, and we'll keep the RDL. We'll marry the RDL.
Okay. I actually think I would marry Bulgarian split squats. Probably kill the leg press. I do love a leg press.
I know, me too. But I mean, between the three,
And then kiss the RDLs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. Okay. Hip thrusts, kettlebell swings, and sled pushes. It's a mixed bag, so this is a bit hard.
oh my God, I want to marry all of those.
Really?
Stop that.
I do not.
Wow.
Okay, actually, I like kettlebell swings, but
Kettlebell swings are, I mean, listen, they're the worst. So I would kill those, but they're great for you. So I would marry them, right?
actually, I would kill sled pushes because it's like, yeah, to be honest, I don't really care. That's not really my style, but
I love the cardio. I love the feel of the cardio.
fun.
But
That's
between,
true.
yes. So kill the sled push, kiss the kettlebell swing, and then marry the
hip thrust?
hip thrust. Sure.
Oh,
Get
okay.
some good glutes going on.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Burpees, battle ropes, and box jumps.
Okay, burpees, no. I've never made a client do that ever.
Kill. Me neither,
that.
actually. I think maybe once.
It's the worst thing.
It is pretty mean.
It's mean and it's terrible.
It is pretty mean.
Battle rope's great, and the other one is?
Box jumps. I'm gonna kill
So-
box jumps.
I'm gonna.
wait.
I'm killing the first thing we said.
Burpees.
Burpees. Killing that. Kissing the box jumps. Loving the battle ropes. Marrying that.
Actually, I think I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna kill the box jumps. I'm gonna kiss the burpees and marry the battle ropes.
Wow. There you go.
Okay, we're doing diet and wellness trends next.
Okay.
Okay. Protein oats, greens powders, and intermittent fasting.
Okay. Greens are gross, so we can only because they taste so bad.
Eat your food.
Right? I'd
Like,
rather have
eat your
broccoli and
vegetables.
kale. They're
I know.
delicious.
Eat
So I'm
your
not doing that.
vegetables.
I'm killing that right away.
Chew your food.
Intermittent fasting I've done for a long, long time, so I love that.
Really?
Yeah. I think just on account of my schedule. I would eat my meal at 5 p.m. and then I would go to work at 6 a.m. and the first moment I could eat would be 10 a.m. So I would go from 5 p.m. to 10 a.m. just on account of my schedule.
Really?
And that worked for me for 11 years. Yeah, really well. So I'm okay with that.
I would not feel happy if I did not have
No, I
breakfast.
don't know. It just worked for me.
Good for you.
So, and then the other one was fasting.
Protein oats, greens powders, and
Protein oats.
intermittent.
Okay, so
fasting.
marry the intermittent fasting
Okay.
in the way that I did it. In
Okay.
the way that I did it.
So you obviously still ate at 10
Because I still
a.m.
ate at 10 a.m. I had a big meal at 10
Yeah.
And then I would kiss the other one, the oat thing, which is lovely.
Sorry, and then you're killing the greens.
I'm
Yeah, killing the greens powders.
Greens. Ugh.
Yeah, I would
Give
kill
me
the greens
kale.
powders
Give me a bushel
too.
of kale.
I would kill the greens powders, probably kiss the intermittent fast. No, I don't want to. Oh, this is really hard, actually.
There you go.
I don't know. Protein oats are fine, I guess. Sure. Okay. This is funny. This is very like wellness. Apple cider vinegar shots, collagen in coffee, and creatine for women.
So I would marry collagen. I do that.
In your coffee or just in general?
No, I just in general.
Okay.
I just take take collagen. Creatine I've never done. I did it once, and I think there was a caffeine thing in it, and it sent me into the worst possible shakes, and so and I never did it again.
Weird.
So I don't know what it was.
Okay.
So creatine was never for me.
I say you got to try again, but
Maybe, and then the other thing was
apple cider vinegar shots.
I've never done that either. What's that supposed to do?
Great, actually. It helps to stimulate stomach acid production.
I know, but is it tasty?
No, it's pretty gross.
Right?
I
There's gotta
gag.
be another way. Like
I gag
having-
every time.
Having a tall glass of water on an empty stomach in the morning, isn't that good for your gut?
No, no, but I will have an apple cider vinegar shot with meals sometimes, especially if I'm having like a
Something spicy?
something super sweet.
Oh.
Because it can blunt the blood sugar response, but you can also just take a walk after.
You know,
you
I
eat,
don't
which is
know.
good.
I just
But you know, you don't need all these excess things. But apple cider vinegar is very good for you.
okay.
I will do Kiss apple cider vinegar shots. I think I'm gonna have to marry creatine. Collagen in coffee, I love, but I don't need to keep it. It's okay. I can live without it. Okay, gut health influencers, carnivore diet, and what I eat in a day reels. This is a good one. I like this one.
Ugh, none. Okay, so what I eat in a day reel? Sure, I'll marry that.
You'll marry that.
Well, I guess I don't want a carnivore thing. That's awful. I want to kill that.
Okay, how about the gut health influencers? Because I feel like that's not that bad. It depends on how you interpret it. Like,
I just, and again, this is my personal opinion. Don't come at me. You've got liver and a kidney and a gut. And if you're eating well, you don't need that extra mumbo jumbo.
Right.
If you're not overdoing it with the sweets and the fats, if you're not having bacon every day and, 12 eggs every day and alcohol, by the ton loads. Like if you're being good with your eating habits, that stuff to me, like if I hear anybody talking about like they're going to do, what's that called when you fast and you're supposed to be,
75 hard?
No, and it's supposed to reset your gut. I know there's a fancy word for that.
What?
I don't know. It's ludicrous.
It's like a fast?
Well, it's you're supposed to fast, and they say that it resets your your liver. I don't know. Ludicrous. These organs know what they're doing
Yeah.
if you treat them well. So I don't like any of that stuff.
You
That's
guys
my
feed
personal
them.
opinion.
Okay, that's a great
Feed them and
point.
feed them well.
It's very true. I do think that the gut health influencers are bringing attention to gut health in a way that's needed and good.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that like all of the extra like greens powders and the stuff that they're trying to sell you to like fix your gut or whatever is BS. I think it doesn't really, like you said, eat well.
A cleanse. Cleanse is what we're
Cleanses.
looking for. When
Cleanses.
they go, we're going to do this, you're going to cleanse. I don't need to cleanse. My liver and my kidneys,
Do that.
they do that for me.
Yeah.
I don't need to do
You just
this.
need to support them to get them
Of course.
to do the job.
But by eating well,
Eating well.
I feel that I'm supporting them.
Yeah.
So to me, these are quick fixes, and I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I would rather take the time to do the right steps.
That is so
each
true.
of my meals. I don't need a quick fix. Quick fix, they don't work.
It's a great way to put it.
They won't work.
Because everyone wants to find the thing that's just gonna like
Right,
magically
because
save
we're in
them,
that,
and
we
they don't
we
want to
very
change.
quickly scroll.
Yeah.
Everything is quick, quick, quick. Health is not quick ever.
No.
So this quick fix stuff to
No.
me is just not going to work.
It's
It's a
a
Band-Aid.
lifestyle.
It's a
Yeah.
lifestyle.
There are definitely
it's being
things-
good to yourself.
Yes.
Right? It's being good.
There are
It's
definitely things you
loving
can do
yourself.
that can bring the dial in the right direction.
Oh,
And like
maybe.
immediately
For
you
sure.
notice a good change, and maybe that's a good thing to bring into your lifestyle. But overall, it's like the sum of all of your habits and all of your attitudes and your people in your life and everything, right? It's not one thing that's going to make or break. Yeah. So definitely carnivore diet, kill. What I eat in a day reels.
I mean, I'm okay with that. It gives me ideas of what to make for dinner.
That is true.
You know, for me, it's just getting ideas. It's not that I care about what you're
Right.
you know,
Yeah. And
I don't care.
it's
But it can give me
I
ideas.
like it when like an athlete does one and you see how much they eat and like
Yes.
how much they have to eat to fuel themselves. And like it's like a super lean person. It's like, yes, finally people can see like how much people who are really strong and lean eat. Like it's
Yes,
good
agreed.
for you.
Agreed.
Okay. Well, that was amazing. I love doing that. That was really fun. I want to do that more. I want to keep going. But is there anything else that you feel like you really want to leave with on Freeform, on being in the fitness industry? What do you want everyone to know?
I have so
one
much
thing?
gratitude. I think I have so much gratitude. I think Freeform allowed me to grow. My clients allowed me to grow. You know, they allowed me into their lives. You know, I'm grateful for their trust, their kindness. I made mistakes along the way, right? We all do. But I have a lot of gratitude for those 11 years because it was a really beautiful experience. It's really beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your wisdom, for your
Thank you.
time. This was so fun, and I can't wait to do the Kiss, Marry, Kill again.
Thanks
So
for
good
having
to
me.
talk to you.